We ended with 1965, about towards the end of 1965 on part 2, so we're going to start part 3 with towards the end of 1965. Now, Doctor Who, which begins on British BBC television in 1963, by 1965 is sitting high in the ratings. It's a very popular show. And Doctor Who is ripe for a film. The time is right for a film to be made from this popular kiddie program. Now, the early Doctor Who, William Hartwell, is not an alien. He's not a Time Lord from another planet, but a cranky old traveler in time and space, and very, very British. He doesn't become an alien until around 1969, 1970, by the time of the third Doctor, I believe. Now, the producers of the TV show wished to tone down the Doctor a little and wished to give a show a fresh beginning for the big screen. Doctor Who is turned into an amiable eccentric, if not a trifle absent-minded grandfather. The TV cast will not be used in this 1965 film because, well, producers feel that they have no box office potential. So Peter Cushing is chosen as the Doctor due to the box office strength of his Hammer films. And the Daleks, the villains in the story, are made to look more intimidating than they are on television. 8 Daleks are constructed for the film, with somewhat larger bodies, thicker bumpers on the bases, clawed pinchers, and squared-off light bulbs on their domes. All right, so Doctor Who and the Daleks, which is directed by Gordon Fleming, will closely follow the television script that the film is based on. Now, as the movie opens, Doctor Who, Peter Cushing, and his 2 granddaughters, Barbara, played by Jenny Linden, and Susan, played by Roberta Tovey, are all engrossed in reading at their home. Barbara's boyfriend, Ian, played by Roy Castle, turns up at the house. As Doctor Who, the elderly, eccentric, and absent-minded Englishman, is working on his latest invention, the TARDIS, a time and space machine that resembles a policeman's call box. Now, the TARDIS is a mess when Roy Castle shows up, with wires and controls all over the place. But the ship is basically ready for its maiden voyage. And Ian, Roy Castle, sets off the TARDIS by accident. He stumbles and sets it off with the destination unknown. But where they're actually heading is to the planet Skaro and Dalek City. Now, Skaro is the 12th planet in a solar system not far from Earth. Unknown to Doctor Who and the fellow travelers, the planet has been engulfed in an atomic civil war. The race of beings has split into 2. You have the evil Daleks, which are irradiated genetic mutations mixed with robotics, and the Thals, who are blonde-haired, thick-eyebrowed, kind of bluish-skinned, and far more benign beings than the evil Daleks. Now, Doctor Who, his granddaughters and Ian arrive in Dalek City and run into a group of Thals, led by Daoni, who's played by Ivan Antrobus, I believe. Then Doctor Who comes up with the idea of taking Daoni to the Daleks in order to make them fight. They're kind of defeated when they run into Doctor Who, and Doctor Who's kind of giving them fighting spirit. Now, the Thals attack the main Dalek city, but are surprised by the maniac androids when part of what appears to be a rock wall opens and blue light dazzles the Thal attackers. The Doctor, Peter Cushing, and Susan, Roberta Tovey, his younger granddaughter, are captured and soon learn that the Daleks are preparing to detonate a neutronic bomb to exterminate the Thals, of course. Then the Doctor and Ian, Roy Castle, stop the countdown by yelling at the monstrous robots. The robots turn around and fire at them, and the two duck, causing the Daleks to destroy their own control panel. The Daleks are now dead, and Doctor Who and his fellow travelers set off again in the TARDIS. But instead of finding themselves back home in, 20th century London, they materialize in the path of a marching Roman legion. Now, the first Doctor Who movie does very well at the box office in both the UK and the US. In fact, a paperback novelization and comic book are published, which also do very well and are now quite rare and rather expensive. So a second Doctor Who movie is quickly rushed into production. This is Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. This movie is also directed by Gordon Fleming. Now, in Daleks, a policeman, Tom Campbell, played by the great character actor Bernard Cribbins, attempts to stop a jewel robbery and steps into the TARDIS, which he thinks is a real policeman's call box. When he steps out again, the cop, along with Doctor Who, Peter Cushing, and his niece Louise, played by Jill Curzon, and of course his granddaughter Susan, Roberta Tovey, are all in the future, on Earth, in the year 2150 AD to be exact. The Doctor and Tom the Cop are quickly captured by the evil robot Daleks, and both are about to be transformed into, zombie robots until the human rebels, few surviving human rebels, attack and save the day. Tom the Cop and Louise, the niece of Doctor Who, are then trapped in the Daleks' flying saucer. Both hide and go along for a ride, where they are betrayed by a group of women in the woods. The Doctor then travels with David, played by Ray Brooks, the human rebel leader, to help get Tom and Louise out of trouble. Doctor Who is, of course, betrayed to the Daleks by the black marketeer Broccoli, played by Philip Maddock, and are taken to a mine where human beings are being used as slave labor. The Daleks, having conquered Earth, now plan to hollow it out. They want to hollow out the planet and use it as a type of spaceship, a mobile raiding base, in order to conquer the galaxy. Doctor Who realizes that the Daleks are using human labor to work their own machines because they dare not get too close to the magnetic fields. These magnetic fields are deep down in the mine shaft. Taken to the Dalek control center, Doctor Who, Peter Cushing, soon sets a rebellion into motion. The Daleks drop a bomb, but Tom the Cop, Bernard Cribbins, has blocked the mine shaft, and instead of destroying the Earth's core, the explosion releases magnetic forces, and these magnetic forces drag the Daleks down deep into the mine shaft. The Daleks' flying saucer, the saucer, tries to take off, but is in turn sucked back into the mine shaft and destroyed. The evil Dalek invasion has gone bust. Doctor Who, Cushing, then takes Tom the Cop back to the robbery in the TARDIS from the beginning of the movie, and lands just a few moments earlier. Tom is now ready for what will happen and grabs the robbers, earning himself a much-deserved promotion. Now, this second Doctor Who film does not do well at the box office in the United States, but does brisk business in the UK. Box office receipts in the U.S. are extremely important to British film. So a projected third Doctor Who movie was sadly never made. Now, despite the second film's disappointing reception, in many ways, this second movie is the superior film to the first, with a great Dalek flying saucer. This is one of the great flying saucers from the movies. It's a really great flying apparatus. It's a unique-looking creation with spinning windows. And the special effects by Ted Samuels and cinematography by the great John Wilcox are very impressive. Now, while Peter Cushing was taking off, traveling in time and space,